everybody, Max here for IGN. I am with Jacksepticeye and DanTDM to talk about their roles in Free Guy. Now, gentlemen, you have made countless hours of content for YouTube as YouTubers, but now you're being YouTubers in a movie. Can you talk a little bit about how that process differs?
It was the exact same as what we do every day. I really wish we had this like amazing story that like, yeah, we went to set, they replicated my whole house out of cardboard, but really, they just sent us the lines and we recorded them in our setups at home.
That's it?
Yeah.
You get like craft service food tables or whatever?
No, I didn't have a runner. I didn't have any of this stuff. I didn't get to shake Ryan's hand and then never wash it again. But my house is lovely and it was very easy to do, so.
Dan, did you get the red carpet treatment? Or was it the same deal?
No, the same deal. And I joined a little bit later as well. So like I had no changes to script. I didn't have to redo anything. Just went straight in. They knew exactly what they wanted. And I think it took me like 30 minutes.
I mean, you're in a movie, you're in a feature film, but it's kind of business as usual. How did you get approached by this? Like, how did this come together?
So I got like I think it's a similar story for both of us, but I got an email from the director and his team, and literally just like we were like in this film. Here's my phone number. Let's talk tomorrow. So it was like really almost like a personal email, like a text almost, like please be in this film. It was a bit dubious at first, but had a talk with Shawn, the director, and sold instantly. He had loads of information about the film because they'd done more than possibly when Jack was contacted. But yeah, as soon as they mentioned who was in it, the storyline, what they needed me to do, I was sold. I was straight in there. Yeah,
Shawn's fantastic. He could sell water to a drowning man. He's so enthusiastic.
Hollywood has sort of a pretty rotten track record about getting video games right. Is there a detail in Free Guy that jumped out at you as being like, they got it, they figured this out?
I think just even before we got into anything, the fact that they were asking questions about it. Like when I met Shawn, it was like over 2 years ago at this point. We were chatting, like he actually sat down. He was like, when you play games for people, like what's that called? And I had to introduce the term let's play and stuff to him. And he wrote it down. Like the fact that they were willing to listen to us and get feedback and make sure that the terminology was correct. And not, because a lot of those movies that you see in the past, it's like, you know what, Ellie, we really are The Last of Us. And it's like, I get it. So the fact that they just kind of built their own game from the ground up and they had their own rules and their own limitations, but then got the terminology right and tried to represent it like a game as accurately as possible. I think that was what showed me that they were at least trying to get it right.
It's hard to comment on that because they don't replicate any games from like real life. There's nods to certain games, but like Jack said, they've created their own one. So the expectation, you don't know what to expect from the game in the movie. I think that is why they pull off the movie so well, because there's not a fan base that you are trying to impress versus people that have never seen it before. Everyone's never seen it before, so you just have to sell them on the game and then you're good.
I think like the best video game movies are the ones that aren't specifically about one video game, but they're like video game adjacent. You know, you've got Free Guy, Ready Player One, Grandma's Boy, The Wizard even. Do you guys have like favorite, video game adjacent movies?
I feel like there's a lot of movies that kind of, it kind of goes back and forth, that games have taken a lot of like narrative sort of styles from movies. And I think a lot of movies these days are like starting to take the sort of fun factor of video games. Like I went to see Suicide Squad recently, and they like the whole movie feels like a video game. It feels like that sort of like quest based sort of like go out and do this thing, and then just the kind of fun factor of this band of people together. Just I think any movie that leans into that a bit more is very fun and just not taking itself too seriously. At least I think so.
Yeah, I agree with that. And not trying to like shoehorn every kind of thing from gaming culture in, like, I don't know, saying Pog every 2 minutes or something. They don't do that. It's not forced. It doesn't feel forced at all. Yeah, it's just a really natural way to introduce gaming into the big Hollywood movie world.
I love it. So let's get to the fun hypotheticals here. Obviously, Free Guy is about a guy an NPC who kind of realizes his freedom in an open world game. What is the meanest thing you've done to an NPC in a video game?
Well, I'm a big Dark Souls Bloodborne fan, so I've done the most depraved things that a person can do. You know those characters who are like, yes, please, help me, I will teach you miracles. There's like one lady in Bloodborne who's caught in a dream, completely lost, and then you have to put on clothes to blend into like her church, and it's like, don't worry, I'm here to help. And then I just straight up murdered her. And then she drops a really cool item. So I feel like I came out on top in that scenario.
I think the only time I felt bad killing NPCs was in GTA. I'm not that bloodthirsty normally, but there was like this certain mission where you had to headshot 50 NPCs, but I was doing like one after the other, relentless. That's the only time I felt genuinely bad. I was like, I'm so sorry, but I need this unlock.
I think like we've all done some horrible things in GTA.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you wake up one day, you're an NPC in a video game. What kind of video game is it? Which video game is it? What NPC are you? What's your role in this world? Are you like an optimistic free guy, or are you one of those horrible wet shrieking things in Bloodborne?
I'm trying to think. Like, my favorite game is obviously Minecraft. I'm trying to think what I would be from that game. I feel like a creeper would be good, but one that never explodes, but makes the player think that he's going to.
Forever hissing.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. All based on how I treat the NPCs in games, I don't want to be one. I just want to be the character that's just like, I want to be that really annoying character. You know, like Navi from Zelda, who's just always yelling at you, like, hey, go here, do this. I feel like that's just me anyway. I'm just yelling at people.
That's a good answer. I feel like you'd be good at that. You've got like a sharp voice. You know, you really just hit the player over the head with tool tips.
I'll cut through the mud easy. And you can't kill me if I'm that character, so you just have to live with me.
Let's talk about sort of the setting of this game. Like, if you found yourself in Free City, would you be like a mild-mannered bank teller, or would you want to kind of, be running around causing mayhem and chaos?
I mean, I'd love to cause chaos, especially if I respawn and I just get to fly a helicopter and crash it into a bank and steal all the money. That sounds horrible for me as a person. That's not what I actually want to do. But if I had the ability to do it, maybe. There's a nice recurring thing in the movie about them getting coffee, and it's the best coffee in the world. And I'm like, I just want to be that person that's giving them coffee. I just want to be like, meet all the characters every day and just give them coffee and get them started. It was antithetical to what I said a minute ago, but
I want to crash a helicopter, but also get coffee.
Sure.
So like a action barista kind of. That's a good role.
I like to think I'm pretty nice in real life, so I like to take the opposite role in this game, I think. So yeah, a little bit of chaos. I was gonna say doesn't hurt anyone, but it might do. It might do.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. Now, speaking of coffee, let's talk about what's the most appetizing video game food. Like, what's the thing that you wish you could eat that's only in a game?
I was going to yell Doritos really loudly. God, most appetizing thing in a game? What games deal with food very well?
I mean, a bunch.
Well,
like
some of the things you cook in like Breath of the Wild look pretty good.
Right.
That's an eclectic menu, and it's all cooked over like a wood fire too. Yeah,
and you slayed that animal and made it yourself.
Yeah, it's a home cooked meal. I mean, there's like, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of Japanese games like Final Fantasy 15 and like Yakuza, they have like really incredibly detailed, beautifully rendered food.
Yeah, Yakuza has some very delicious looking food in it.
Yeah, I mean that's like real food though. I want to go back and like eat like old sprites, like things that you can't even tell what it is. Really, is that like a pineapple? Is that like an apple? Or like a I don't know, like a Wumpa fruit or something. I think that'd be good.
I want to eat Toad from Mario.
That is a good answer. Yeah. No, I think
what's under that hat, Toad? Is it a hat? We don't know.
We never figured that out. That's a good question.
I'll get to the bottom of it, guys.
Good Lord. Let's see. Let's talk about favorite in-game vehicle ever.
That's a good question. Does Aggro from Shadow of the Colossus count? It's not really a vehicle. He's more of a horse.
Yeah, it's a horse. That's like a.
Maybe something from Subnautica. I like the sea moth in Subnautica a lot. Yeah, I think it's very fun. It's very fast.
What's the new one? The
sea truck?
The trike.
Oh, the
snow fox.
The snow fox. Yeah.
Those are good. Those are good vehicles. I like that.
Can you tell we're gamers, Max?
Yeah. No, I love that you just immediately go like deep dive. Like that is like I'd like a Mario Kart. That's my favorite.
I want to drive a Luigi.
While eating Luigi.
Okay. What is your biggest pet peeve of how movies in the past have portrayed video games, like how people hold the controller or like the sound effects or just sort of the framing of them?
I can't think of a specific example, but if they tried to fit like gamer speak into a movie just to try and seem relevant, or just to be like, this is a gamer movie because we've used this word, no, it doesn't quite. It does the opposite actually for me.
I think mine is always when you see somebody playing a video game in the movie and they're just mashing buttons.
Yeah.
It's just like, what game are you playing? Your controller's going to have no battery in 15 minutes if you're playing it like that.
I think somebody should make a game that actually requires you to just mash buttons, and then it could be a good game to put into movies. I think
we should get the guy who made Katamari back and just have it be a game where you mash every button all the time.
Yeah.
So let's say there's a free guy too, and you get a chance to maybe play an actual character rather than than yourselves, the characters that you play on YouTube. What kind of a role would you want to see in the movie?
I want to be like a doomsday person. I want to go in and be like the dude on the street was holding up, he's like dressed in newspapers, massive beard. You can't tell it's me. I'm just holding a massive sign that says like 10 days to go. But I show up every day with just like a smaller number every time. And then something bad happens at the end of it, or nothing. Either or. I just want to be that guy.
I think that'd be a good one. You just got to grow your beard out a little bit.
Yeah, I can just yell at people. It's great.
The guy who sells the ridiculous costumes. There's always those costumes in either GTA Online or any game like that are just the most ridiculous for that reason, and that's why people buy them. I'm your guy. I'm your salesman for that.
Very nice. That is a very good answer there. Like games need that air of legitimacy. Like we've all got careers working in games, but how did your parents react when you're like, hey, guess what? I'm in a movie about video games.
I think they were still kind of coming to terms with what it is that I do. I think they've always been kind of proud about it, but then just being like, wait, how did that turn into a movie? How did you go from that to that? I don't get it. But when you explain that it's a video game movie, then it makes a lot of sense. But the fact that I'm playing myself, they're like, I don't get it. I'm going back to my stories on TV.
Mine would probably be similar. I just kind of stopped at I'm in this movie and just leave out the video games bit, because that's the bit that hits. And they're like, that's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
And if they go and see it, they'll probably be like, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, that's cool.
I love it. Well, gentlemen,
I like to think that that's how Ryan Reynolds says to his mother. He's like, I'm in this movie, and she's like, cool.
Just doesn't matter. It's a superhero movie or a video game movie. It's just a movie, yeah. Well, gentlemen, congratulations on making your big screen debut. That is very cool. Everyone, you can go catch them in Free Guy, which is in theaters on August 13th. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you.